channel. Today I've got my monthly favourites. I didn't have a January favourites last month, so I'm going to include a couple of products from last month that I really enjoyed that I still really want to talk about. The reason I didn't have one is because my laptop broke. I say my laptop, it's my boyfriend's laptop, but he kindly lets me edit on it, and unfortunately his hard drive died. Yeah, we had to basically send it away, get a whole new hard drive, but unfortunately it meant that I couldn't really upload any more videos. Thankfully I had scheduled videos beforehand, including up to the day before the laptop died, so I've still had videos to carry me on through the weeks. But yeah, that's basically the reason I didn't get my January favourites up on time, so meh. I don't know. Life shit sometimes, but there you go. It's not the end of the world, and I can include them in my new February monthly favourite thing video. Okay. Quick drink. So my throat's not sore, but my voice seems to just keep disappearing on me. The first product that I want to talk to you guys about, I've got two products, they're both palettes. Actually, this whole favourites video seems to be palette heavy. So the first palette I'm going to talk to you guys about is the Urban Decay Vice 4 palette. Can we just talk about how stunning that packaging is? It's gorgeous. This is my favourite packaging of the bunch. I don't own the Vice one, I missed out on that unfortunately. But Vice 2 was definitely my favourite packaging, and now the Vice 4 has taken over. So of course, just as a reminder, that's the Vice 2 packaging, absolutely stunning. Not many people were that keen on the Vice 3 packaging last year. I didn't mind it, I thought it was okay, it didn't offend me, but not everyone was feeling the 80s vibe. So let me just open this. I do miss the little button that used to come on like with the Vice 2. I don't think the Vice 3 has a button either. No, you just open it. So I'm not sure if this is still available. When I went into my local Debenhams the other day, it was still available there in store. So if it's not available online, it might be worth going into places like Debenhams or House of Fraser, and I think Selfridges carries Urban Decay as well, or Urban Decay shops. I know there was one in like a Westfield shopping centre in London. There was an actual Urban Decay shop. You've more than likely already seen this so many times on YouTube, but I really wanted to include it because I've used it non-stop, and these are the shades that you get in here, and it's just a beautiful range of colours. You've got this really cool beautiful green right here, you've got your neutrals down here as well. I couldn't really necessarily pick a favourite, I really like so many of them for different reasons. I guess if I were to tell you some of my favourite combinations, Flame, Bitter and Delete together, so have a flame through the crease and above the crease, and then delete through that crease and outer corner to deepen things up, and then have flame kind of on the lid as well. Beat Down is a beautiful colour, and also like these greeny shades as well, like Arctic is absolutely stunning. So let me just give you a swatch of some of my favourite shades. So I'll just do Beat Down, Flame and Arctic. Not the best swatches in the world, but yeah, they are absolutely stunning colours. I did notice a couple of shades that were very similar to the ones in Vice 2. One was Framed. Let me just swatch that for you. And I found this one very similar to a shade called Habit in the Vice 2. Let me just grab my palette here. Oh my god, my desk is such a mess. I really need to sort it out. I can't work in mess usually, but because I've got so many products everywhere, because I want to talk about them, and I've also just filmed this makeup look as well, things are just everywhere. So yes, this is my Vice 2, felt very well loved. Yeah, this is Habit, and I feel like this is quite similar to Frame, so let me just swatch it next to it. I feel like Framed might have more of a peachiness to it. So that's Framed there, and that's Habit. So not super identical, but I do feel like they are pretty damn similar. Once you're going to get them on the eye, I don't think you'd be able to tell a difference. And what was the other shade that I found? Oh yeah, Deadbeat. Deadbeat, which is this blackened shade here with silver sparkles. That is quite similar to Lovesick in the Vice 2. So this one here is Deadbeat from the Vice 4, and this one is, yeah, Lovesick from the Vice 2. To be honest, I can't really see much of a difference in those. Maybe Deadbeat is a little bit more of an intense black colour. I couldn't find anything that was similar to the Vice 3 palette. I feel like the Vice 3 palette has probably the most unique shades anyway, especially with those raspberry and red tones. But yeah, those were the only two shades that I felt like were similar to past Vice palettes. Of course, I can't say anything about the Vice one because I don't own it. But yeah, love this palette, love the colour combinations, and I have been enjoying using it so much. One of the palettes that I have been enjoying using it with is, I can't talk today, is the Urban Decay Urban Spectrum eyeshadow palette. Again, very nice packaging. It's like a matte black, so opposite of that really shiny packaging, the matte black also tends to pick up fingerprints and any dirt, and it really obviously shows it, and it is actually harder to clean as well. Not the most travel friendly palette as well, but it is very pretty. I got this for Christmas from my mum, thank you mum, and I do believe that it sold out and now they've restocked it again, so it's out again, and you should be able to get this. I've done quite a few looks using this. What I'll do is any looks that I've done using my Vice 4 and this palette is I'll link them down below so that you can have a look at them if you'd like to, or not, that's cool by me as well. So this does, again, the Vice 2 stays relevant in this because this does have some repeats from the Vice 2. Firstly, I'm just going to say I love this palette. Like, I really, really love this palette. It's just beautiful. It really reminds me, not necessarily in the way it looks at all, but it reminds me of the Urban Decay Book of Shadows. There's no mattes in sight, there's no highlights shades in sight, and you've got a couple of neutrals down here, but it is basically dominated by all of these beautiful colours. And that really reminds me of the way the Book of Shadows were laid out as well. You know, in more recent times with the Vice palettes, they've added matte shades or their version of matte shades. They're mostly satin shades. This does have a great range of neutral shades at the bottom here, but like I say, they are all very, very shimmery. The only shadow that basically could pass as a matte, I guess, is if you use a blending brush in the crease, is this shade here called Prank, and this is a repeat from the Vice 2. Once you swatch Prank, let me just swatch it for you. So when you swatch Prank, you see this really beautiful teal glitter running through it. But I can't ever seem to get that, looking for my baby wipe thing. I can't ever seem to get that to transfer to my eyelid. The glitter just won't stick to my lid. It doesn't seem to matter what I use. Whether I use it wet, dry, whatever. Whether I use patting motions, it just doesn't seem to stick to my eyelid. And I found that to be the same with the Prank shade in Vice 2 as well. So what repeats have we got in here? Oh yeah. Okay, so Madness was in Vice 2. Prank was in Vice 2. And Voodoo, that was in Vice 2 as well. And I thought Omen was in Vice 2 because when I got this, I thought this shade here, I'm going to call it the same because it's basically the same colour. I'm going to swatch it in a moment. But I was like, oh my god, I'm so glad I have a backup of this because it is my favourite purple eyeshadow of life. It's like a really cool duochrome blue purple colour. But it turns out that when I actually went to look in my Vice 2, then the eyeshadow I was thinking of is called Betrayal and not Omen. But I'm going to swatch these two because I cannot tell a difference. So this is Omen. Let's just swatch that at the top there. Okay, and then I'm just going to swatch, this is the shade I'm talking about, Betrayal, this shade here. I cannot tell the difference. I looked and looked and looked at it, and I feel like maybe Omen has maybe slightly more pinkish tones to it, I don't know. But I honestly can't tell the difference. I feel like it's the same shade. So yeah, you do have 1, 2, 3 repeats from the Vice 2 palette. Possibly 4 with a different name. I don't know, you tell me, but I feel like that's the same shade. Either way, I'm not too fussed because I love that shadow, so it is just really nice to have a backup. I'm going to keep calling it because I feel like it is the same shade. Just wipe my hand so it's getting grubby. Okay, so yeah, absolutely love this palette. I think if obviously you're not a lover of colour, you need to steer clear of this palette. If you are not a lover of all shimmer, then you need to steer clear of this palette. If you love both those things, then this will be the palette for you. But I cannot stop using this, like I say, especially in combination with the Vice 4 palette and also the Naked Basics palette as well, because there are no matte shades or highlight shades. The Naked Basics is a great compliment to this palette. It isn't the most travel friendly palette either because the lid does tend to come off. There's not a magnet to keep it down or anything like that. But it is a really, really beautiful palette and I can't get enough of it. I absolutely love it. And again, like I say, I will post any looks that I've done with that palette down in the description bar below if you're interested in seeing those. Okay, should we stick with now? So those are the two, basically those are the two products that I wanted to mention in January. There were other products as well, but I feel like if I included all of them, this is going to be like 10 million years long, and oh, I can't talk. So I've decided that I'm just going to move on to products that I've been using in February, and some of the products that I was going to mention in January anyway, I'm going to mention here because I've been using them through this month as well. I'm going to stick with palettes. This next palette I got for my birthday on the 2nd of February. This is the Too Faced Chocolate Bonbon palette. I did not think that I would love this as much as the original. I'm really happy. The case is much thinner than my original chocolate bar palette. I know they've made changes to this original packaging as well, but I bought the chocolate bar palette when it first came out, so it was much thicker packaging. And then let me just show you the semi-sweet on top of that. So they have made changes to this. I'm not going to go too in depth about this because I do want to do a review. I have already got some looks up with this palette as well. I basically did all my Valentine's Day looks with this palette because I just thought it was so appropriate for that. But yeah, it's just a really beautiful palette. Of course, when you open it up, it's got that beautiful smell of chocolate. I think the packaging is absolutely gorgeous as well. It's just got some really beautiful shades in it. So I'm just going to give you a couple of swatches of the ones that I love. I love Earl Grey, Molasses Chip is really gorgeous, Bordeaux is really nice, and Cotton Candy is absolutely stunning as well. So that's those there. So we've got Cotton Candy, Bordeaux, Molasses Chip and Earl Grey. But this is such a beautiful palette. Like I say, I don't want to go too in depth with it because I am going to be doing a review video on it as well. Slow down, Tash. But I wanted to include that because I have used this non-stop all month. I love it. It's great for everyday looks, it's great for evening looks, it's great for bright looks or just pops of colour with a neutral eye. It's so versatile. I love it. Which means you already know I love it before my review, but I still want to review it and go a bit more in depth with it anyways. So I need to talk about this next product. I recently included it in my Sleek mini haul / review, and this is the Sleek highlighting palette, and this is in Solstice. And it's just got sort of beautiful highlighting shades. You've got the cream and then 3 powder highlights as well. The one that I've been using the most is Subsolar. I feel like it really suits my skin tone. It's just a beautiful creamy shade. It's just a really beautiful light cream pearl shade, which is great for fair skin tone. I can also get away with wearing this pinky tone here as a highlight. This tone here I feel like is a little bit more deep, it's a little bit too deep for my skin, but it does work great as a blush topper. And the cream is really pretty too. I don't usually like cream highlighty products. I feel like they can mess with my foundation sometimes, but this worked really well. So again, I feel like I'm saying this loads, but I will link that video down below if you wanted to see my little mini haul and review where I go a bit more in depth about this too, but I had to mention it because I have used it non-stop. I also like using all of these shades on the inner corners of my eyes. They work really well there too. I thought I'd mention that. So that is the Sleek highlighting palette in Solstice. Okay, so the next product that I've been obsessed with is this NYX blush in Taupe. And I think this is a reformulated one, and I know some people have said this isn't as good as the original. I haven't tried the original, but this does work on me. I still have to be quite light-handed, but nowhere near as light-handed as I have done with contours in the past. This is a really nice cool-toned blush, and it is just really great for contouring on fair and light skin tones. I haven't got it on today, so I can't really show you what it looks like, but I have used it in a ton of my videos, and I really love it. It's just a really nice cool tone colour. Let me just swatch this for you. So that is Taupe. And it is so hard to find anything that suits my skin tone well, and I feel like this is the closest I've got to finding a contour that's not going to look super warm or orange or muddy on me. So I really love it, and it blends out really nicely as well. And I can't mention this blush without mentioning this. Again, broken record, I have a video on this as well. I love this. I got this for Christmas. This is the first and only Real Techniques Bold Metals brush that I own. I do want to get some more of them because pretty much my whole brush collection consists of Real Techniques brushes from their core collections. But this is the first Bold Metals brush that I own, and I absolutely love it. This is their 301 flat contour brush. I have pretty much abandoned my old contour brush from Real Techniques just because I love this so much. It's just really precise at getting right in under that cheekbone, and then it is really great for blending the product out as well. I didn't think I'd love it as much as I do because I felt like it was going to be, because it's so densely packed, I felt like it might kind of leave a stripe, but it just blends out the product so beautifully. And it is so soft, I just want to rub it all over my face all day, but that would be weird. So that is the Real Techniques 301 contour blush. Link below for the review on that as well. This is like an endless advertisement for all my previous videos, but never mind. I didn't actually mean for that to be the case, but these are just products that I've loved, and of course if I love them I'm going to be using them regularly in my videos as well. The next product that hasn't been mentioned in my videos, and I don't have a link below for it, is my makeup brush cleanser. And this is by B. I think it's just called B, and I'm not sure if this is a Superdrug brand or a brand that is exclusive to Superdrug, but I've not seen it anywhere else. And this is basically, what does it say? It's a conditioning brush cleanser that disinfects and cleans cosmetic brushes. It's a gentle formula, it's suitable for use on both synthetic and natural bristles, which is great, and it's gentle enough for everyday use. Oh yeah, it's also suitable for vegetarians and vegans, and it is also made in the UK as well. And you get 125ml, and I believe it's like £3 or £4. I'll try and find the price for you guys, but this is great just for spot cleaning, and it's great to be able to find a makeup cleanser on the high street rather than having to go to any of these kind of higher end shops like Selfridges and MAC and places like that. So that is by the brand B, and you can find that in Superdrug. The next product, Secret Brightening Powder, Laura Mercier. I've been using this for about, I think I've had this for about a year now. I'm getting kind of low, I don't know if you guys can see. There's still quite a lot in there, I mean that's still going to last me a good amount of time, but I use this non-stop all the time. It's the only thing I use under my eyes now. It just sets concealer beautifully. It's just a really nice powder, and it doesn't crease, it doesn't sink into fine lines, and it doesn't make my under eye area look dry and gross. So I really love it, and it seems to be doing really well on YouTube. A lot of people seem to be talking about it now, which is really cool because it's just such a great product. So I've then got two lipsticks to show you guys, and they're both from Maybelline, and they're from their matte line. This is the Colorsensational mattes. And I believe there are, I think, 6 or 7 shades in the range here in the UK. I own 4 of them. I do want to do a lip swatch video and review on them, but I just want to talk about 2 of them today, and they are Nude Embrase and Divine Wine. So this is Nude Embrase here. It is just a really nice terracotta toned nude, I would say. It's very warm toned. I wouldn't say they were completely matte. They do leave a more creamy finish on the lips, and they are comfortable. The darker shades definitely last a lot longer than the lighter shades, but it is a really beautiful colour, and I've been using that a lot, especially for every day. And then the next shade is at the opposite end of the spectrum, and it is called Divine Wine. And then, just as the name suggests, it is just a beautiful vampy red shade. So that's the swatch of Divine Wine there. The Maybelline Colorsensational lipsticks are one of my favourite lipstick lines ever. So when they came out with these matte lipsticks, I definitely had to go and get them. Divine Wine took me a lot longer to find than the others, and I still have a couple more to collect as well. They are available in Superdrug and Boots, and some Sainsbury's carry them, and I imagine some of the other supermarkets as well may carry them too. But if you do get them from Boots and Superdrug, they tend to have the offers, like the 3 for 2 offers, or buy 2 get... No, that's the same thing. 2 for £10. I was going to say buy 2 get 1 free, which is the 3 for 2 offers. Oh my god, my brain. Okay, so you can get 3 for 2 or 2 for £10. I think they retail at £6.99 each, I believe. So that is the Maybelline Colorsensational mattes. I will wake up. I've actually got another makeup product I quickly want to talk about, and it is the Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer, and this is in Fair. The packaging, basically, I don't know, the words have rubbed off of it. It's one of those kind of packaging. It's I don't know, it's quite cheap. So this is a £4.99 concealer, so it is a very reasonable price, and it is quite a creamy consistency is what I'm wearing today. I feel like it's a great cross. It's in between the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, but it's not as thick, and a little bit like MAC's Pro Longwear, but not as liquidy as the Pro Longwear. Pro Longwear concealer is definitely still my favourite. I feel like I can get away with wearing it, and it doesn't crease throughout the day, it doesn't move. And the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, unless I set it, that will crease because it is quite a thick creamy consistency. This one isn't too bad. Like, it will tend to crease if I don't set it, so I do set it with like the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder, which I was talking about before. But for a high street brand like Collection, this is just a great concealer. It just does a really good job of covering my extremely dark circles and really brightening up that under eye area, and once it is set, it doesn't go anywhere all day. It lasts a really long time. This is definitely my favourite concealer out of all the high street / drugstore brands that I've tried, like ever. It's just awesome. I think that's the end, which is good because my camera battery is flashing at me, which means it's going to cut me off anyway. So that is the end of my favourites video. I will list all the products that I've mentioned down below, and I hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.